All right, let's get on to organization. The organization of an essay has been the same for hundreds of years. Ever since people wrote essays, and people still write thousands of essays every year. There are teachers write essays, physicians write essays, you have doctors and lawyers, you have people, politicians, CEOs, we all write essays. The point is that an essay is a classic construction. There's a classic organization. It's the same way that we organize our speeches. It's the same way that we organize basic conversation, in fact. When you've ever heard a speech, whenever your parents even, let's just say that your parents, when they've talked to you last about an issue, we always construct it just the same way we construct an essay. You start with an introduction where you introduce your topic and your point, and you kind of say why this topic is important. And then you go through all your evidence and all your points, and then at the end, you wrap it up. You wrap it up in some concise sentences that everyone can understand and that they can take away with them. That's how speeches are written. That's how, for thousands of years, that's how speeches are written. That's how essays, persuasive essays, are written today and hundreds of years ago. And so that's the same method we're going to use today. So let's start with the first paragraph, which is the introductory paragraph. Introductory paragraph. The introductory paragraph. The introductory paragraph has three parts to it, if you will. One, which is usually just one sentence, and it's just the beginning, it's the hook. I'm sure you've heard this before. The hook is your introductory statement, and it usually wants to draw your audience in. Mr. Scott is going to get more into the details of this, but it could be anything that you think could be controversial or a question. I personally don't like essays that always start with questions, but maybe a question doesn't have a question mark. So let's go back to The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Lion. Boy Who Wanted to Be a Lion, you do not have to write this down, but my introduction could be, all people should strive to be the same. All people should strive to be the same. Now, whether you believe that or not, I think everyone thinks that's a pretty bold statement to make. You don't know what I'm talking about yet. Whoever's reading this essay doesn't know that I'm talking about a film, doesn't know where I'm going with this, doesn't know if I agree or disagree with this statement necessarily. But that's going to be my start. That's going to draw people into my essay. And this should introduce part of what I'm going to talk about. And when it comes to the film, the short film, The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Lion, I think this is one of the themes. And this is going to be the theme of my essay. So this is kind of at the center of my essay, and I'm going to put it there to hook people in. All right, keep in mind, all these points that I'm going to make, this is all in one paragraph. So the hook comes, then we have what I would usually say is your background information. This is your background information. So this is where you'll introduce the book, introduce the text. Because while you may introduce Ender's Game and the author, you may introduce Tomorrow When the War Began, you may introduce Of Mice and Men. In this case, my text is the film, The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Lion. So I would introduce, at this point, this is where I would introduce my text. I'd introduce my text. I might even use this point to, you're not going to give information. See, you're not going to give a plot here. You're not going to give out the plot. In most cases, you have to expect the person has read your text. In almost all cases, you expect that the people who are reading it have to have read your text. Otherwise, most essays would just recount the entire book. And that's not the purpose of an essay. It's not to recount the book and then explain it. All right? You have to assume everyone's read your book and that you're just pulling out parts to show the evidence. The last sentence, the very last sentence of your introductory paragraph. So we're still talking about the introductory paragraph. The last sentence is your theme statement. Now, we've talked about what theme is. Your teacher has talked to you about what theme is. Now, theme, to recap, theme is the essence of your text. Your short story, your short film, your novel, whatever it is, it's the essence. It's what the author was trying to say. Now, sometimes in a novel, there's definitely a lot going on in a novel. And there can often be multiple themes running through a novel. You want to pick one and tell me that is the theme of this novel. That is the theme of this novel. It is being argued by the author. You are telling me what the theme is. Now, that would be a theme statement. Your theme statement, write this down, is the last sentence. Write that down first. Theme statement. Last sentence of your introductory paragraph. And it is your statement about what the novel is saying and your arguments in support or against it. So, your statement, this is you, the writer of the essay, your statement about what the novel is saying, and your arguments in support or against it. Do you support or are you against what this novel is saying? And that all goes into one sentence. So it's really concise. You're not, the introduction is not where you bring in evidence. This is where you just start us off. You tell us what your argument's going to be. So, for example, here. Over here, I wrote down a potential introductory theme statement. Let's see if we can't get that in the film. There it is. In this novel, the author is saying that we should conform, yet my strength is my uniqueness, and the strength of us as a species is our differences. So I've clearly stated what I believe the author is saying. In this novel, the author is saying that we should conform. That's my statement about what the novel is saying. But then I take a position. Yet my strength is my uniqueness, and the strength of us as a species is our differences. Those are going to be my two arguments. Now, don't move on in this video until you understand what's going on in this sentence that I've written. In this novel, the author is saying that we should conform. Now, in this novel, let's be honest, that should say short film. I put in novel because I was caught up in my novel. So in this short film, the author is saying that we should conform. In The Boy Who Wanted to Be a Lion, I'm saying the theme is we should conform. I'm claiming that's what the theme is. I'm going to show support later. That's just what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying the film says. And then here are my arguments against it. I've chosen the against side. Yet my strength is my uniqueness. Argument 1. My strength is my uniqueness. So I disagree because my strength is my uniqueness. And the strength of us as a species is our differences. That's my second argument. So you should already know what my essay is going to be about. Based on that one sentence alone, you should know what my essay is going to be about. My essay is going to prove that the author is trying to get us to conform. My essay is going to prove that my strengths is my uniqueness. That is my strength. The fact that I am unique makes me stronger and better, and that I shouldn't conform. And my third argument is going to be that as a species we are stronger because we're different. Those are going to be my three main points of my essay. I'm going to tell you what the author is saying, and I'm going to tell you that I know she is saying this because of the evidence I'm going to show you. I'm then going to show you that I am stronger because I'm unique, and then I'm going to show you that we as a species are stronger because we're unique. And that's how I'm going to prove that the author is wrong. That's going to be my essay. So, I have 3 points. How many paragraphs do you think I'm going to have? Probably 3. I'm probably going to have 3 main paragraphs in my essay to back up my 3 points that I just put in my thesis statement. Now, or theme statement. The theme statement is the hardest sentence to write in your entire essay. Don't get intimidated by it, because once you have it written, it writes the essay for you. You just need to choose. You need to decide. In fact, while you're filming this, I would even suggest pausing at this point and thinking back to your novel. If you are doing Of Mice and Men, Tomorrow When the War Began, Ender's Game, doesn't matter. Think back right now and ask yourself, what is one of the themes of my novel? What theme do I feel strongly about? And do I agree with you or disagree with it? And why? How do I as a person, how in my life do I agree or disagree with it? And how as a greater whole does the world seem to agree or disagree with it?